Hello, Sue, and hello, Tom. We have about 36 minutes before the train is scheduled to show up, if it keeps to that schedule. So, we'll see how things go. Hello, Rune. And hello, Shannon. We're facing south there, and that's the direction it's supposed to be coming from, so. Hello, Marlin. Yes, I am back, and hopefully I'll catch the via train on video. Hello, Mona. Thank you, Shannon. We'll see how things go. It's the best I can hope for right now. Liz from Digging Canuck is here. From here, I am going to be heading west. I'll be doing a visit to the CN station in Carnoa, in Saskatchewan. I probably have the name of the town wrong. And then on to Humboldt. I'm going to find out if I can find anything in Humboldt about the 40 years that my great-grandfather lived in that area. And then probably head over to Winnipeg to check out the Grand Central Station in Winnipeg before heading home. Hello, Starika. The trip from Morris up to Dauphin and Manitoba is the twistiest, turniest swamp and lake-filled area I've ever driven through. If I saw more lakes, it'd probably be, better, but I mostly saw, bog and but still, it wasn't bad. It was a nice drive. We'll see what the trip. I have a 4-hour drive with one stop in the middle before I reach Humboldt. tomorrow, and set aside 3 days for research, and then a trip down to Moose Jaw, and then from Moose Jaw over to Winter Peg, as Liz referred to it. Every lock I have seen since entering Canada has been a master lock, so no. It wasn't hilly or anything, so there wasn't, it was flat. Completely flat. I am staying in Manitoba for a second night before heading over to Saskatchewan. T420 Steffi is here. I have 2 weeks of paid vacation from my company, but right now I have only figured out a week's worth of material, so unless someone says, come visit me, I'll probably head back after being in Saskatchewan for a week. The train is 26 minutes out still, so if you need to get yourself a drink or a snack, now's the time to do it. Probably won't take long for it to pull up, and it only stays here for 10 minutes, so. Little shelter right down there is where the passengers would wait, and I don't see any. But it is this scheduled stop, so. There's rail laying in the grass. In case you hadn't seen earlier, this bench has a really cool setup. They actually have rail track and wheel holding up the bench. So, Moon over Miami is here. And that's what you're seeing right down there is another one of the benches. Okay, Rune. Well, have a good night. Hopefully by the time I'm live again in 2 weeks, I'll have Starry Lock to be live from as well. But yeah, that's going to be more up to YouTube than anything. I hope the wind isn't too much of a noise obstacle. It's kind of it's changing over from a warm day today to rain tomorrow, so I guess setting out. It's supposed to be sunny in my destination, so I might be driving through some of it. Well, there's going to be a slight spinning of the wheel and a little bit of, I think it cuts off video when I do this, but I'm going to go check to see the ETA on the train, which just had multi-panel the way my tablet does. Isn't too bad. We are still scheduled for 5:26, so 20 more minutes. And I appreciate that all of you are here to keep me company. Because apparently this is not a big rail fanning event because, you know, hey, it's really quiet. Not that that's bad. G Keyman 565 is here. And if you're going to ask me about my Storylock channel, G Keyman, I don't know. Still waiting for a reply from YouTube, so we'll just see. Well, I informed you anyway, but thank you for not pestering me about it, because I can't do anything. Looter 8 has joined us. I got my first bits of Canadian change earlier. I got a loonie, I got a toonie, and I got a nickel. But no colorized, no, nothing special that I saw, so I guess I couldn't be that lucky, right? Well, you know, I've only gotten 3 coins so far in the 2 days I've been in Canada, so it's not like my odds were real high. It would have been nice, but not real high. The sun has come out. Hello, Mandy. Good to see you, and thanks for joining in. If I have to sit here waiting for a train, I got pretty good company here this evening. In Canada, and apparently not near anyone I know, so hasn't changed my situation from being in Iowa. Other than this is definitely different scenery. YouTube has been yellow tagging my live stream. Not sure I'm familiar with that term. What does that mean? North Coast Railroad has joined us. And we're sitting outside of the rail station where the museum we visited earlier is, so. I didn't pack my detector. I didn't know how much time I was going to have, and I didn't know what the local laws were going to be concerning detecting. I was really tempted, but then I opted not to. That, and I know somebody who took a computer with them to Canada, and coming back, the U.S. border guards wouldn't let him through until he could prove that he purchased his computer. I just didn't want to deal with U.S. border guards. Canadian border guards were great. Pulled up, she asked me 3 questions, and I was in Canada. As long as I wasn't carrying firearms, alcohol, or cannabis materials, I was free to enter. Yeah, I think U.S. border guards like to swagger a bit and show off their territory, and I don't know. Well, I think they didn't want me to bring cannabis into the country because it wouldn't be taxed then, you know. I assume they tax your cannabis that's produced in Canada, and they don't want to miss their tax money. Same with the alcohol. That's bootlegging. That's why they've made it legal wherever they've made it legal in the U.S. is for tax money too. Although it gets really weird in the US because it's federally illegal, but legal in certain states, where they're choosing not to enforce the federal law. Sure, now that the sun came out, the wind has died down. Bad combination. It's feeling hot out here now. But still nice. I would like to take a passenger train across Canada. Yeah, I checked into that. It is just as expensive and inconvenient as it is with Amtrak in the US. Hopefully it gets better in one of the countries or the other. I tagged the Dauphin Rail Museum's YouTube channel and Facebook page on my live from this afternoon, and then posted pictures on both Instagram and Facebook tagging the museum on both of those. He was quite happy to have social media posts, which they get a fair amount of visitors, but they don't get a whole lot of people who are also posting on social media. So Rachel from Jersey Ray, good to see you. I don't know if you remember this, Marlon. There was one time you were looking through the map of Emmitsburg and pointing out good places for me to detect, and you'd pointed out this set of bleachers. Well, things got easier for me because that land went from being part of the school over to city property, and they removed the bleachers. So I just I'll just have to detect that whole area. That's private property. I couldn't, he never answered his phone when I filmed my live going down there. I don't know how to get a hold of him. Maybe he was on vacation or something. I don't know. But I'd have to check with him before I did anything more. Should be getting close. Video may turn black and you may get a spinning wheel for a second, but it won't last long. They left their last town already before Dauphin and are heading here at 62 kilometers an hour. Yeah, it is a cool spot. It's probably close to 40 years old. It's kind of curious because, you know, some people write fan fiction, and he wrote, I'll use my carpentry skill and replicate the barn and the house from the TV show. No, I'm not going to entertain you with my epic train sounds. I don't have any epic train sounds. I can entertain you with stories. Yeah, several towns have done what they can to cash in on Little House on the Prairie. I don't think Mankato ever did. I don't know of any, but you know, it's just referenced as that place, the big town you go to. Yeah, well, sorry, I just didn't give in to your requests. I'm not even reading Marlon's toot toot, which I just did now. Unless there's a change suddenly, it should be here in 5 minutes. Lost sight of the crow. Tigger dog. Now hopefully I don't run too late, because where I am parked only allows parking until 6 p.m. train arrives just before 5:30. But, you know, it should be gone by 5:40, so. Now, Canada suffers the same problem when it comes to passenger trains that the US does, and the fact that the passenger trains are not owned by the companies that own the rail. So if there is a freight train, it gets priority because the freight train owns the rail. So we get slowed down. It's Deej. Welcome back, Deej. Good to see you this evening. We should, with any luck, be within about 3 minutes of its arrival. So far, everyone's been keeping me company, but I may have upset Frank over at Luterate for not wanting to make train noises in anticipation of the train. But I don't think he's too upset. Martin is here, which isn't surprising. His digger dog had showed up. Well, you'll be hearing the authentic thing in hopefully 2 minutes. Unless I got a slowdown between here or there. The train is traveling through the same area I had to drive through, so I know that it's not a straight run because there's a lot of swamp and lakes through that area, but and scraggly little trees. My great-great-grandfather immigrated from a part of Denmark that had become part of the German Empire just after he decided to immigrate. And his name was John Seek. And then William Sick is my great-grandfather that moved to Saskatchewan. My grandfather was Emil Sick, who moved back to Iowa. And on his way between Saskatchewan and Iowa, he passed through South Dakota and met and married my grandmother. So there's a real short, cut and dry version of my history. See, I'm resisting. I gave in to Marlon doing it, but I'm resisting reading Marty's two, but I did it. Ooh, train horn. The real thing's coming. thought I heard it. Maybe it was my imagination. Yep, that's definitely it. It's a coming. Yeah, that's the real thing, Frank. I am not that good at imitating trains, so I can see its headlight. And the gates are dropping on the nearby crossing. I am not seeing anyone on board. They do have one car that has an upper deck. That is 5 cars. Oh, we got passengers getting off. And this is what the guy at the train station was talking about earlier. They don't have a platform that they pull up to. They have a step that they climb out of the train on. This one is going eventually all the way to Churchill. So obviously not everyone travels that far. This one came up from Winnipeg in its route to get to Churchill, and then it returns the journey. So now Rune left before and was asking about locks, or interesting locks, and someone left the padlock undone on that. Not that I figure anyone wants in at their heater air conditioner, but there's the CN caboose on display here, if you didn't see that earlier. That's because they made Freon illegal, so you know it's going to be expensive. Sweet Digs stopped by to say hello and hit that like button. I appreciate that. And obviously some of these people are just out stretching their legs and are going to get back on the train. I say that because some of them have done that. Apparently, in the old days, like up until the 1950s, the passenger train ran from Minneapolis up to Winnipeg and then all the way up to Churchill, and there were American tourists that got on the route. And the stop here in Dauphin would be long enough that people could go out sightseeing and they would send people out and catch fish and serve the fish that they caught locally as and that night's dinner. So yeah, my dad was in the heating and cooling business. He was not fond of the replacements for Freon. Dirty Bag Yackers is here. It was such a nice train video, and then I put my fingers in front of the camera. I am not going to be riding the train. I'm going to be driving my car for everything I do. I'll have to make another trip to Canada that involves train travel. Oh, the passengers are starting to get back onto the train. I think everybody that got off stayed off, went back on. I don't think anyone stayed in Dauphin. And they didn't pick up anyone, but... And the steps are all picked up and loaded. And our rail employees are back on board. The guy who was checking the tracks up front has gotten back on board the engine. We should be hearing the sounding of the horns to warn people to clear that next intersection. I got my viewing time back. For the most part, it's down a little bit, but that may be, because there was a whole week and a half where no one was viewing my videos. Because, that's how things work. But I did get back a little over 1,500 hours. So it's a step forward. Even if they still don't have any idea what happened to my Story Lock channel. Or if they do, they're not telling me. Come on, Frank wants your horn sound. Everyone's on board, doors are all closed. Polar Bear says yum. And Starika is calling out to the train. Well, you'll at least be able to hear the sounding of the horns as they depart, Polar Bear. Has the Indianapolis 500 happened yet? I know it's happening today, I just wasn't aware of the time. bird has landed on the roof of the car at the end. I think he's in for a surprise when his landing spot starts moving. Yeah, they were saying earlier it only takes usually 5 to 10 minutes, but this one's running a bit longer for some reason. Oh, it's starting to move. And that is the end of it. Coin World UK showed up at the very end. Hopefully in time. Yep, by those horns. I didn't give anyone a headphone warning, I'm sorry. In case any of you were listening on headphones. And tripwires here. And now you can hear the sound of the train as it departs. And I am not racing to the next town to catch it again. Even if I could do that. There's always replay. There's always replay. Well, it was my first time filming a passenger train. I did not expect it to be my first passenger train to be a Canadian passenger train, but yeah, it just adds to the coolness. And Tony with Fun with Dirt is here. What is it with everyone showing up just as I'm ending? Happens on every live I do. Well, yeah, that's not to discount all of you who have been here all along. Giveaway? Gee, I should have invited you in, Marlon, and you could have done a giveaway. Ran a duck race for me. 16 people, 9 likes over the course of the video. Yeah, it's not bad. Have a good night, everyone. I might do the next train museum tomorrow as a live. I may do it as a premiere. I don't know. We'll see. Take care, and we'll see you later.